All right, let's talk about something we've all been through. That weird, kind of stressful relationship between creativity and a ticking clock. You know that feeling, right? That intense pressure to just get it done, but at the same time you have this irresistible urge to tweak just one more little thing.
I mean, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It's a paradox that if you've ever made anything, you know exactly what this feels like. The deadline is breathing down your neck, but all of a sudden, the single most important thing in the universe is whether that heading should be Helvetica or Gotham. Seriously, why do we do that?
So this whole mess, there's actually a name for it, the efficiency paradox. It's this massive clash between what we say we want, which is to be efficient and finish the project, and what we actually do, which, let's be honest, often looks like the complete opposite.
Think of it like this. On one hand, you've got the deadline pressure. It kicks you into focus mode. It feels like you're in a sprint to the finish line. But on the other hand, you have the aesthetic debate. And that's where all that great forward momentum just collapses into this black hole of tiny cosmetic tweaks. We end up trading actual progress for just the feeling of being in control.
Okay, so is there a way to describe this from a more technical systems point of view? Well, the source material has a term for it that sounds a little complicated, but it's actually super precise. It says this whole process behaves like nonlinear recursion.
So what does that actually mean? With nonlinear recursion, every little fix you make doesn't actually get you closer to being done. Instead, it just opens up a whole new can of worms. You change the font, but does that new font work with the colors? Does it mess up the spacing? Each tiny improvement doesn't solve a problem, it just spawns a whole new universe of decisions. It's not progress, it's the illusion of progress.
So when you look at it like that, it just sounds broken, right? Like a fundamental flaw, a bug in our human operating system. But what if it's not? What if we've been looking at this whole thing completely backwards?
I mean, just imagine you're a machine, okay? Your whole purpose is efficiency. You would look at this human process and see absolute total chaos, a complete system failure. It's just random changes with no clear path forward. So the logical question is pretty simple. What's the bug here? What needs to be fixed?
But here's the thought. What if this isn't a logic problem at all? What if it's an emotional one? This idea that finishing a project, calling it done, feels like you're freezing something that was once alive and full of potential. Maybe the endless tweaking isn't about getting it perfect. Maybe it's about not wanting to let it go.
And this brings us to a totally different concept, emotional recursion. See, unlike its cold, logical cousin, the idea here is that we get stuck in these creative loops not to produce a final thing, but to find a feeling. We're searching for a deeper connection, for meaning in the work, and that search, well, it doesn't follow a straight line.
So what do we actually get from all this so-called inefficiency? Well, for one, it keeps the project's potential alive. It stops the creative flow from being frozen solid. In a way, we're making a trade. We're giving up speed to gain depth. We're exchanging a little bit of precision for a whole lot more possibility. And all of a sudden, that bug starts to look a whole lot like a feature.
And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, where these two opposite ideas, the bug versus the feature, really come together into a new way of thinking. It's about optimizing for resonance.
Okay, this is really the heart of it all. Machines, they're designed to optimize for one thing, results. Speed, precision, a clean, defined output. But humans, especially when we're creating something, we're optimizing for something else entirely, resonance. We're looking for depth, for possibility, and for that undefinable feeling that what we've made is somehow, well, alive.
Which brings us to this powerful idea, maybe the biggest takeaway from this whole thing. Maybe we've had the definition of creative efficiency wrong this entire time. The goal isn't to get from point A to point B with the fewest wasted steps. The goal is to walk a path that creates the most meaning along the way. That wasted time isn't waste at all. It's part of the process.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. The next time you find yourself stuck, fighting over some tiny detail while the deadline is screaming at you, ask yourself, are you procrastinating? Or is this the exact moment where the art is actually happening? Something to chew on for sure.